near and far throughout our state, in our city. Now we've got to go well beyond, all right? We have John Stewart who's joining us for World UFO Day. Thank you so much for being here, man. Welcome back.
Hello, forgive me. I'm not in my, Hollywood podcast studio. I'm in my former office that my wife turned into a 12-person dining room table. I'm like, I don't even know 12 people. Anyways, the thing is so long, you have to send out a trip flare to signal anyone. So I just wanted to apologize for that. How are you today? Nice to see you.
I'm doing well. Listen, we were so entertained with the background the last time, but it's all right, you know?
It's not easy being me.
We get it. So World UFO Day in 2026, what do you think, or what goes through your mind this year that really encapsulates where we are in terms of disclosure and discovery versus 2025 or years before?
Great question. I am not bragging here. Again, I always say to everybody, I come on here to tell the truth. I had literally 3 Hollywood meetings with Hollywood executives or producers today on Zoom calls, wanting, tell us about your investigation. Tell us about this hunting Victor. Tell us about what else could you give us with aliens? Because to answer your question, the fact that extraterrestrials and UFOs are being talked about on a regular basis on major media, local media, congressmen, congresswomen are talking about it. We're talking about the government having bodies and crafts and storage. I think that's the message for 2026 and UFO World Day, is that it is out in the open. The extraterrestrial phenomenon has come out of the closet. And I coined that little phrase. I always wanted to help the government come out of the closet with this phenomenon and just be honest with the American people. And we're getting that way. And I am really very surprised and very shocked that UFOs and extraterrestrials are being talked about without the X-File music and without being taken very seriously. And as an investigator for 7 years and somebody from Chicago that has literally fallen down this government UFO extraterrestrial rabbit hole with my investigation, I'm very excited. I'm very pleased that where it's at. I think we are going to have some explosive information and videos coming forth in the next few months.
Okay, I want to pick apart a couple of things that you said there. When you talk about, the fact that it's out in the open, and yes, there are the conversation has shifted quite a bit. But why do you think, even though there has been mentions of bodies and things of that nature, the rollout of documents, there have been several things in the last several months that were major developments. Why do you think, or how long before do you think we're at the point of actual physical proof in front of us?
Another great question. I mean that sincerely. It came to a point, I think, where news directors and networks and cable TV shows were like, look, the evidence is getting almost overwhelming here. We have sitting United States senators and congressmen being told that these beings are interdimensional. We have former Israeli defense minister telling us that extraterrestrials are real and they've been here for a very long time. So I just think the information has been overwhelming for people in the media and people in the news, and somebody got the courage to take this very seriously. And if I want to take that one step further, look, the bald, chubby guys on Fox News again, John Stewart. I ran for Illinois governor. I'm not some kook in my mom's basement. The one of the most respected UFO disclosure advocates, who's got this 700 person witness list and 4 terabytes of information about disclosure, is a former emergency room doctor helicopter. I mean, we have an award-winning journalist, Linda Moulton Howe. We have Dr. Michael Sala, that was a political mediator. We've got people, serious people that have the pedigree and backgrounds to say, look, we're not wearing tinfoil on our head. This is a serious situation. We don't know the entire truth, but we're all here to figure that out. So I think that, again, eventually and I am calling for this too. Look, show us the bodies, show us the film, like my alien interview film from 1997. Show us an autopsy photo. Give us, get us inside one of these underground facilities, like at Papoose Lake, south of Area 51, the Dugway Proving Ground in Utah, Wright-Patterson, the Blue Room in Ohio. Come on. If we don't, I told a Hollywood producer today, look, if a sitting president of the United States of America can't knock on the door of a facility, no matter what it is, that is owned and paid for by the American taxpayers, we have a serious issue in this country, and it's time that we let loose. We pull back the curtain, and we let some of the most jarring, jaw-dropping video, photos, and documents unleashed on the public. We're sick of the blurry UFOs. I mean, they're great. Some of the photos are great, but we need the 4K resolution. I know I beat this like a drum, but we need the high resolution UFO landing at an Air Force base, and we need the photos of the beings that I have proven. We've had this interrogation and retention program since the 60s, where we filmed extraterrestrials being interviewed telepathically or thought projection, and we've got thousands of these on electronic file now, and on our computers with the government. It's time we let the people see what we have been concealing from them for over 80 years.
Well, John, I mean, did you speak with Steven Spielberg? Because everything that you just described, the media and the news getting this, and the what goes back to the 60s, and the electronic files, and what's on the video, all of those things were in his new movie Disclosure Day. And I mean, at the end of it, there was a physical presence.
Right, but that's a movie, and we all know. I mean, even my wife, that is not interested in this subject matter on whole, knows that Steven Spielberg has had contact with the government and has had information fed to him. I mean, that's but it's not a high-ranking Air Force colonel stepping forward at the National Press Club in the press briefing room at the White House saying, folks, we have decided that it's time to come clean. The slow drip disclosure is not working. And we are now going to show you a presentation of living and deceased extraterrestrials. We're going to give you code names and facility names. We're going to show you the facilities. We're going to show you underground. I have had please listen to me on this. I have had 4 retired Air Force intelligence men who have been with the Office of Special Investigations in the Air Force, 4 of them, who all said, and some of them really don't know each other, so they all said this at different times, that their initial thrust, their initial briefing into the extraterrestrial phenomenon was to be sat in a room, and a 16mm film with sound starts to roll, and they take it from the Roswell crash, where President Harry Truman is in one of the evidence tents outside of Corona, New Mexico. That's where the craft with the beans actually crashed, not Roswell. And it goes and it takes the lineage, and the footage gets better, goes into the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, briefing these Air Force intelligence men on the phenomenon. We, the public, need that type of briefing, whether it's 15 minutes or 5 minutes. The government, with the spokesperson, somebody from the Air Force or the Pentagon, the DOD, needs to step forward and show the government, show the American people that the government has this information, take questions from the press, and do a rollout, so to speak, and have press briefings and go on news programs and let this be discussed amongst the media and the American public. This needs to happen. We have the film. We need to show it.
Yeah, I mean, we've taken huge steps, but there are huge steps still to be taken in this realm. We're out of this realm. Thank you so much, John. We always appreciate having you here on the show. It's been quite the year where these types of things are concerned, but it does just make you wonder. It's 2026. Like, when do we just get the meat and potatoes? Like, when does it get laid out in front of us?
It's so true. I'll wrap it up for you. It's been 80 years. This is ridiculous. They're treating us like children. The extraterrestrials in those underground facilities have been paid by my taxes, your taxes, and your viewers' taxes. I don't think we realize that. We are the holders of this government and of these facilities and of every piece of equipment the government owns and has. We own that. We, the American people. Stop treating us like children. Stop mocking our citizenship and show us the goods. Show us these extraterrestrials. Tell us where they came from and tell us what you know. And thank you for having me on today.
Jon Stewart, thank you so much as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you again.
3:15, everyone. Give